Matthew was talking about he got a box of tissues that he didn't realize had a VIX thing on it.
Yep.
Because you just blew your nose and you're like, oh, nice.
Yeah.
Smell.
Can you imagine if you were putting something else in that Kleenex?
Yeah.
And your tip hit it? No one told me there's VIX in here.
It reminds me of the on Woodstock 99. My buddy and I, we go to Woodstock and we stop at a Party City and we get some disposable cameras. They had a sale, disposable cameras. I think it was, I don't know, whatever it was, like a couple of bucks for like one of these disposable, and it said party cameras. And I was like, cool, party cameras, whatever. So we get a bunch of disposable cameras and we take pictures all weekend at Woodstock 99, get some amazing photos. I should show you. There's one amazing photo I had when Fred Durst jumps off the stage to go into the crowd at Woodstock 99. All the security in the pit went into the crowd after him, which made all the security on stage go into the pit.
So nobody's there anymore.
No security on stage.
Yep.
And I'm stage left. And I just start.
Let me guess.
I start walking out. I do it. And I'm like, let me get a shot here. I have no idea I'm walking into a national TV feed.
Oh, man.
I walked. You can see the footage of Woodstock 99. You can see that shot of me just kind of like looking around with this shitty little disposable camera. But the point of my story is that we go through that whole weekend. The news breaks that JFK Jr., his plane has disappeared, and it looks like he may have died. And by the end of that weekend, I think they found the remains of the plane crash. And my buddy Jason and I, we get back into New York City, and we were heading to the World Trade Center. He had never been there before. And whatever exit we got out on the train, we walked past a building, and there was just flowers up to your waist.
Yeah.
All around the corner of this building. And it dawns on us, oh my God, this is the building where JFK Jr. lived. And everybody is just, it's become a makeshift memorial to JFK Jr. And I was like, holy shit. So I got out one of my disposable cameras, still had pictures, and I took some shots of it because it was amazing, that timing. We had no idea we were going to be right there. And I developed the film. And to my horror, when I bought these camera phones and it said party cameras, it meant that every frame you take has a party logo on it. Matthew, can you pull up the picture of the memorial for JFK Jr.? Now this is a party. That is the most disrespectful camera shit.
I mean, depending upon your political stances.
Yeah. I'm wearing my Eagles shirt, by the way, from the Eagles concert. I started to tell you on the last episode about taking Frank Sidoris to go see the Eagles. I never even finished that story.
Yeah.
Frank Sidoris, local guy. He plays guitar in Slash's band and Wolfgang Van Halen's band. He's got 2 gigs, and he is one of the nicest dudes on the planet. I brought him out to the Eagles show and introduced him to one of the guys in the Eagles.
One of the guys in the Eagles.
One of the guys got us in, hooked me up.
What's the name of that one guy that's in the Eagles?
His name's Joe. He's a really nice guy. And
you're referring to Joe Walsh.
That's
fucking amazing. Yeah.
Joe has been around.
One of the Eagles. I introduced this guy to one of the Jackson 5. It's Michael Jackson, but whatever.
I've known Joe for 15 years. My ex, not the ex I just broke up with, but the ex before that.
You dated more than one person?
Yeah. Went to both girls. And
allegedly. Not that there's anything wrong with that, people.
We went to a barbecue where a bunch of musicians were at. And
lobster all over me.
Yeah, you just spit all over yourself. Went to a barbecue.
Now he's gonna try to date me. It's all my technique.
A bunch of musicians are at this barbecue, and it turns into a jam. And my ex, very introverted, and I know that about her. She's a wallflower. She's very uncomfortable meeting people, and so I tried to make it as comfortable for her as possible. And she just hit her limit and just said, "Can we go home? I don't feel comfortable here anymore." And I'm like,
you can go all the way home.
And I was like, and at this point, the jam is starting to turn into something. I remember DH is playing drums.
Okay.
DH Peligro is his last name, and he was one of the Peligro, and he is this
Careful.
Phenomenal drummer. And all these musicians start showing up. They all start jamming. My ex says, I've had enough. I got to go. And I'm like, all right. Walk out the door of the house. The door opens. Joe Walsh walks in with a guitar in his hand. And I go, hey, Joe. And he goes, hey, Craig. And I go, this is my girlfriend. This is Joe. And he goes, you taking off already? And I go, yeah. We walk out. She goes, who's that? I go, babe, that was Joe Walsh. She goes, oh, what does he do? Anyways, years later.
How long did you guys stay together after that?
After that, I mean, it was still a few years.
Painful?
I've been really lucky that I've actually met some really nice women in my life that
allegedly.
But yeah, man. But God, dude, that Eagles show is something else, man.
Hell yeah.
Holy shit, those visuals.
Oh, it is an incredible experience. The moment that you walk into the building, like it's like a fantasy world. It reminds me of like the Jetsons or something. All the different escalators going up at different angles and whatnot.
Yep.
And it's just an experience the entire time that you're there. At an Eagles show, because I saw a DJ. I don't know how you pronounce the name. I know it's Anyma. So I don't know if it's Anima. I'm a bass player, so I don't know. Yeah, I like Enema.
DJ Enema.
Yeah. But just incredible visuals. One dude up there playing music, and it told like the story the whole time. I've never seen so many Asians on hallucinogenic drugs.
Really?
Oh my God.
Wow.
Yeah. We were sitting there, and they were just passing a wallet back and forth, and people put it back in the wallet, pass it. I was like, this is supposed to be like the creme de la creme. These are the smartest people in the world.
And they're all snorting shit?
Yeah, and like this one girl just freaking out the whole time. It was crazy.
Do you think that was coke, or what do you think that was?
I don't know. I mean, I assumed it was coke. I mean,
was it triggering for you?
Had it been me, it would have been coke back in the day. But I don't know what it was. I mean, probably is ketamine something that you snort?
I think so. I'm so far removed from doing drugs.
Thank God.
Yeah. But was it triggering to you? Did it make you feel like itchy? Like, ooh, I want to do that?
No, not really. No. It was more of just like an amusement of just watching people that I would normally stereotypically think would have their shit together. Fucking just losing their mind.
What triggers you? What makes you feel uncomfortable when it comes to drugs and alcohol?
Emotions.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yep, I'm an emotional.
Going through the breakup, that was triggering. But actually seeing alcohol, seeing drugs doesn't feel like temptation to you.
Mm-mm.
For me, it's people overdoing alcohol.
That makes you want to do it?
Overdoing. Because like watching people drink is just kind of like, But if I see someone take a bottle of Jack Daniels and go,
yeah, I'll
go, oh, yeah.
See, I had an ex-girlfriend a long time ago, and she brought Truly into the house one time.
Truly?
Truly is like hard seltzer.
Like a pussy drink.
Hey, that's my point exactly. She's like, is it okay? Like, I mean, I don't want to tempt you. I was like, honey, if I relapse, it ain't gonna be on fucking Truly.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, I'm gonna be fucking snorting whiskey, drinking cocaine, and fucking all your friends.
Yeah, for me, it's watching people overdo it. I remember hanging out with, I don't think he'll mind me saying this because he doesn't do drugs anymore. But the Greg Wilson, who's one of the funniest comedians, total nut.
Yeah.
Remember him chopping up coke in front of me? He's like, yeah, dude, I fucking, oh shit, I'm sorry. Should I not do this in front of you? I go, no, it's fine. He goes, okay. I'm like, and then he fucking went crazy. And I was like, God damn, Greg.
Yeah. But if that was in front of me, I would probably like itch a little bit, like, fuck, all right, woo, okay. Coke, yeah, probably. Because I like the Superman aspect of it. That's like, I heard people in rehab, I had to drink and to feel normal and all that stuff.
Right.
I always felt normal. But when I hit that, woo!
You felt like, for me, I guess I would feel some kind of Superman type thing. But like with everybody else, the Superman feelings got shorter and shorter. And then the paranoia got deeper and deeper. And then Did
you spend the time in the hotel room just looking out the peephole?
Of course. Not only that.
I forgot about that till just now.
Yeah. Not only that, in the really long stretches of bad nights, I'd be watching the front door the shadows underneath the front door, people walking by.
Yep, but there.
What is that? And another musician friend of mine who shall not be named said that he would actually, he had a hack for that. He said, I would just grab one of the towels out of the bathroom and roll it up and just put it right there in the bottom so I wouldn't see any shadows. And I was like, why wouldn't I think of that?
Yeah.
But then I'd be even more paranoid that there are people right there outside the door and I just can't tell.
Yeah. They know what I'm doing in here. They know.
Oh, yeah. I would get quieter and quieter, like.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, I'd turn off the TV. So, oh, yeah, dude.
It was fun, man.
The beginning is fun. The beginning of drugs is fun. But like anybody else, it turns into terrible, terrible time.
Yeah. There was another musician friend who's also sober now. And he was talking about it one time. And he's like, how crazy is it that every drug and alcohol story starts, we were out partying, having a good time, doing all this stuff, going crazy. It was nice. And every single one of us that ends up in rehab and goes into recovery, every single one of us at the end, in a room by ourselves, hiding from everybody.
Yes.
I mean, it starts like it's, I do it to be social. And then it's like, whoa, now it's just me. Every single person I know that's gone into recovery has that same story.
Yeah. What looks like fun at 10 p.m. I always say, like, let's see what they look like at 10 a.m.
Yeah, exactly.
10 a.m. is the real key of what kind of night it was. But at 10 p.m., they might look great. Mm-hmm. At 10 a.m. is the real truth. How many shows have you seen in the Sphere now?
It was just the one.
Okay.
And just the visuals alone and people on drugs. Pull up that video there, Matt. I just saw this the other day. A gentleman at some sort of show at the Sphere. And I don't know if he's on what it says right there, but his reaction would certainly indicate that he is. Full rigor mortis.
Yeah. Man, he's still reeling from that.
All his friends. He's got to be hamming it up.
And his friends love him so much that nobody's helping him. They're just recording him.
I think that's the same show I saw. Wow. Yes, I remember that part now.
Wow.
And kudos on the shorts there, sir. Way to really get dressed up to go out on the town here in Vegas.
I've your seen best pair 2 shows shorts there now. I saw you 2 there twice.
Nice.
At the Sphere, and then the Eagles. I mean, I really, it's the future, man. Mm-hmm. I'm so grateful that place is in our backyard and that we can go there.
What's funny about that thing is they were building that during the pandemic.
Yep.
And at that point, it was just like this big black dome.
Yep.
It wasn't lit up at all. And so many of us in town are like, what? Like, we need another concert venue? Like, why are they building this? I mean, it makes no sense.
Yep.
And then one day, out of the blue, that big smiley face looking thing pops up and like,
4th of July.
Now it was? Okay.
It was 4th of July. They turned it on 4th of July and then it's been on ever since.
Yeah.
And dude, that place, that night, we were like right in the middle of the venue and we actually got, Joe put us in a suite, in a family suite.
Mm-hmm.
So we're right in the middle. Next door to us was the Breaking Bad guy. What's the Breaking Bad guy's name?
Jesse or the older guy?
The older guy.
I know you're talking about Cranston, Bryan Cranston.
Bryan Cranston.
Yeah.
Pierce Brosnan was there.
Mm-hmm.
Who's the guy who used to beat up women? I shouldn't say that. The guy who beat up women.
I could have been a smart ass about that. And, we could have clipped and clipped.
He dated Daryl Hannah for a while. He's a musician.
Robert Kennedy Jr.?
Oh, man. Anyone watches is screaming at me right now.
Is this where we get to do another speed up video or Craig's trying to find it on his phone?
Jackson Brown.
I never would have guessed.
Yeah. Jackson Brown used to.
Really? How did you recognize him?
Only because Joe's son said, we got Jackson Brown coming. Frank heard it.
Okay.
Frank goes, do you hear that? I go, what? He goes, yeah, Jackson Brown. There was a couple times when I thought Frank, being a guy who plays with Slash, being a guy who plays with Wolfgang Van Halen, and just did that tour with you, with Metallica, where you guys are doing stadiums every night, that he would have been like, oh man, cool, whatever. But he was sitting there going, did you hear that? You hear what the guy said? Like his ears were pricked up.
Yeah.
At one point, Don Henley sang Desperado, and Frank goes, did you hear that guy behind us? And I go, did I hear what? And he goes, the guy behind us just said, I remember when Don played this for me before they recorded it. And I was like, really? He goes, yeah. And I turned around, I looked at them, and they looked like old hippie dudes. And I was like, so I wait to the end of the show, and I was like, hey, did you say that? And he goes, yes, I did. And I was like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
So are you, I'm sure you get this a lot, right? Like, do you ever get people like, I know that you're famous for some reason. Everybody's like talking to you, but who are you? Do you ever get that?
A lot, yeah.
I'll get that sometimes when people are like, oh, you do stand-up? Have you ever blah, blah, blah? And I go, yep. Yeah. And then I go, and they'll say, have you ever done this? And I'll go, yep. And they'll be like, oh. And then
wait a minute.
Like, wait, how, am I supposed to know who you are?
I saw you at Soul Joe's.
Yeah. Fucking Soul Joe's. God damn it.
Mark Norman was talking about that place today and how amazing it is and how awesome the owner is.
Yeah, the owner of Soul Joe's like really got people through the pandemic. There was nobody doing stand-up comedy in 2020. And this guy was doing a regular, well, I should say no clubs were running. There was like comedians would put together some outdoor shows here and there.
Movie, drive-in theater shows. Yeah,
but this guy, Soul Joe's, was outdoors every weekend. He was bringing in headliners from all over the country to come out and do Soul Joe's. But Frank Sidoris, I remember at one point we came out of an elevator to go to our family suite and we saw Pauly Shore. And Frank was like, oh shit, Pauly. And I go, yeah, that guy owes me money. He wouldn't. I love Pauly, but Pauly put me in the first thing I ever did in a movie. Pauly Shore put me in a movie called Pauly Shore is Dead.
Oh, yeah.
That's the name of the movie?
Yeah.
And he had me do 2 voiceovers for the movie. I did the voice of Sam Kinison talking to him in his jail cell. And then I did the voice of Adam Sandler also talking to him in his jail cell. But they got Adam Sandler to come in and recut my lines.
Who did Adam Sandler better?
Well, that's the funny thing. Adam comes in and he goes, all right, so, hey, Pauly, we got this. And they go, can you do it more like this guy Craig did it?
That was awesome.
And they played animated. My shit.
I love it.
And they said, do it more like this. And they made Adam do his voice more like my impression of his voice. But anyways, didn't pay me at all for the movie. And when I was asking about it in the middle of recording, I was like, how much am I getting paid for this? And his buddy, Dean, said, you ever been in a movie? And I said, I haven't. And he said, then you should be paying us. And I was like, okay. And I kept my mouth shut. And then like I asked about it again later and they were like, well, nobody gets paid until the movie actually gets sold. And the movie got sold.
It's not how it works.
I know. And I would ask Pauly about it from time to time over the years.
Yeah.
And he would just give me some kind of, and just wouldn't. So anyways, yeah, Pauly Shore owes me money. But
there's the next movie. Pauly Shore is dead. Pauly Shore owes me money.
Owes me money.
I'm guessing. I've met him a couple of times. I'm guessing there's probably a few people that he owes some money.
Yeah.
Love the dude, but he doesn't seem that reliable, I wouldn't say.
I owe an apology to 15 people who signed up for an open mic in Henderson. Is that where it was?
Yes, it was.
Open mic that you told me about. We go to an open mic. Chris has been hitting open mics, comedy shows. I actually really respect the shit out of it. You know who it reminds me of? Theo Vaughn. When Theo Vaughn started doing stand-up, he was the 2nd or 3rd reality star from MTV that I would see in clubs, except he actually started doing the work. Like I remember seeing like people from Road Rules and Real World would show up at comedy clubs like, hey, I want to do stand-up comedy, but they wouldn't put the work into it.
Okay.
They just like, I'm famous, so
people are gonna laugh.
People are gonna think I'm cool and shit, but that's not how it works. People will get excited for a minute, like, oh shit.
You got to deliver quick.
But now you got to make them laugh.
Yeah.
And Theo Vaughn would go to every open mic. Like I would go to multiple open mics a night in LA and I'd see Theo at all of them. And I'd be like, wow, this guy's actually really doing his thing.
Absolutely. And it's paying off because now he's interviewing Trump and
it's crazy.
Yeah. He's part of the zeitgeist these days.
He's, I gotta say, seeing him talk about cocaine to Donald Trump truly was like one of the most surreal.
I mean, the price is getting out of control though. Come on, Donald.
Yeah. But
fuck the eggs.
But we go to this open mic and the guy who runs the open mic is like, I go, hey, I'm Craig. I'm a comedian. Is it okay to do a set? He lets me go up and do a set. And I do, 10, 15 minutes. You do 10, I do 10, 15. And then they're doing a couple other comedians. And then at some point, I think my 10 minutes, I gave a speech like about stand-up. And then I did some weaving of comedy in the middle of the speech.
It was so fun to watch.
About open mics and about how you go to an open mic and you never know, you might see the next Dave Chappelle, you might see the next Sarah Silverman, but you'll definitely see someone who's going to attempt to kill themselves tonight. Yeah. And how these are the nights that make people, that really create character. And then for some reason, 4 or 5 comics down the line, a guy named Bobby didn't show up.
Yep.
And
we got blessed with a second appearance by Mr. Craig Gass.
The host said, he was like, Bobby, I got a Bobby. Nobody? Does anybody want to be Bobby? And I went, and he goes, Craig, you want to come back? And I go, yeah.
Yep.
I did a second set at an open mic.
It was a lot of fun, though. It was fun watching you. You do so much as like a mentor, as someone who, I mean, you're on the Howard Stern show. You've been on King of Queens, all these movie credits, selling out Soul Joes, doing podcasts with me. I mean, you have done everything. You are a superstar.
Asshole.
No, but I'm being serious though. At the same time, I am busting your balls.
Yeah.
But you also are a leader and a mentor. An OG. You've been doing this for how many years now? Comedy?
30.
30 years, exactly.
Well, over 30, but I've been doing.
I don't even date 30-year-olds.
Yeah.
So that's a long damn time.
Yeah, I've been getting paid to do stand-up for 25 years.
Yeah.
So.
But it was awesome just listening. I was taking mental notes of the stuff that you were talking about, because you go into these open mics and sometimes it's a mess.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
especially when, I mean, dude, there's more to it. And any comic will understand this. It wasn't just an open mic. It was the first time they had ever done an open mic at this bar.
Yeah.
So
the beach house here in Las Vegas.
So you got this, a couple of regulars that are just sitting there watching TV. There's a Vegas Golden Knights game on. So they're just there to like eat and watch the game.
Yeah.
And now it's like, all right. Hello, check. All right, you guys ready to get this comedy show? And they're like, no.
Yeah, exactly. Could you put the volume back on?
Yeah, they
it's the
watch
third period.
Yeah, so it's just the only people really interested are the people who are also performing, which makes for a really terrible audience. But it really is embarrassing to go in and do 2 sets in front of people. So
you went back in after I left. How was your third set?
We were making jokes about that I was going to go back. All right, now, Bert Kreischer.
Y'all may have heard of the man. He's got a brand new special out on Netflix called Lucky. Recently made an appearance on WWE Raw. Chokeslammed a couple of fellas.
Oh!
Look at that.
Wow.
Man. Look at that.
The haircut.
Oh, speaking of Bert Kreischer and Porosos, my boy's got the Porosos swag hat on. Very nice.
So, Dave, let me give a little bit of backstory about Bert, and then we'll get into this evening that we had with Bert, because you're not going to believe part of this. You are absolutely not going to believe part of this. Dave Buckner, by the way, our first and only guest so far on Beardo and Weirdo, Papa Roach fame, nicest human being on planet Earth. And always has been, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
When Dave was a full-blown drug addict, he was the sweetest drug addict you could possibly meet.
I think all three of us can relate to that probably.
Yeah. He was just an unbelievable human being. So Bert Kreischer, in the late 90s, this strange thing happened in New York City where a bunch of comedians migrated to New York, and we all started hanging out at a place called the Boston Comedy Club. And Bert would end up being the doorman there on, I don't know, a couple nights a week. Bert would work the door. But a bunch of comedians came down from Boston, like Dane Cook, Patrice O'Neill,
the GOAT.
and then Chappelle came up from DC. Chappelle had actually been up there for a couple of years at that point already. But all these comedians just started showing up all at once. And then this like crazy scene started in New York City. And Bert was just always the nicest guy. He was always really helpful to me. I had just moved out there and I had to start all over. You know, at some point in stand-up comedy, you got to move where the comedy is, either LA or New York. Now Austin is also arguably the place to go to now. And so Dave with his facial expression. So Bert was just always that guy. He's still the same guy.
Absolutely.
And he's just always a silly, funny. I still remember a joke that Bert used to do on stage. I only heard him do it once.
Okay.
And I don't think he ever put it on anything. It's really fucked up too. It was Bert with a friend who had played a prank on him. I can't remember what the prank was. Bert's friend fucked him up. Some kind of prank.
Uh-huh.
and it was early in an evening, and Bert wanted to get him back. And I think it was another comedian. They're hanging out, hitting clubs, doing sets. At the end of the night, 3:00 in the morning, they get on the subway to head home. Nobody's in the subway car.
Yeah.
Do you know this joke?
I've heard this. Yeah.
Yeah, I told you. And they get to a stop where a group of black guys get on, and they all sit right next to Bert and the other dude.
Mm.
And like uncomfortably, he described it as like physically touching him, like staring at him like, oh shit. Like there's just all this tension all of a sudden.
Yeah.
And then the next stop is Bert's stop. So ding, Bert gets up and he goes, all right, man. He walks out, gets outside of the train, standing on the platform. And he goes, okay, man, I'll talk to you in a little bit. And he goes, okay, all right, yeah. Okay, yeah, just give me a call. And then you hear ding as the doors are starting to close. He goes, all right, I'll see you at the meeting. White power. And then he walks out and he goes, what? And, ding! And then the train starts taking off. He goes, what the fuck? And I never saw him put that out on anything. So I don't know if that exists anywhere online. I only heard him do that joke once. But Bert was that guy. Mm-hmm. And now he's famous and he's still that guy. He's still the same dude.
Very much so. You got me into one of his shows at T-Mobile Arena and he didn't know me. I got backstage, was hanging out in the back. I walk in and he was incredibly hospitable. He's basically, hey, this is my green room. My green room is your green room. Anything you want, go ahead. And I was just thinking to myself, I'm like, man, if I was out doing like solo stuff, this is how I would also host backstage. Very welcoming, just a host of a party, work the room the whole time, much like I do myself the entire time. And I was just like, man, I was very appreciative that this guy who doesn't know me at all was that gracious and that generous.
And I did the same thing for Buckner, which turned into a really funny story because Dave calls me up. Bert is performing in Boise. And so Buckner, I got him set up with passes. You know, you'll get in, get hooked up, and then and you'll be able to hang out with Bert after the show. Mm-hmm. And Dave called me. Do you mind if I tell this story, Dave?
Oh, I think you're already doing it, Craig. Let's go.
Dave called me up, super stressed out.
Yeah.
Phone's ringing. I don't know where I was in the country, but I was like, I go, hey, dude, what's up? And he goes, Craig, hey, hold on a sec. Hey, Craig, I think this is a meet and greet. Now, what Dave is saying to me, there are different types of backstage passes. There is a all access pass, which is like a laminate, which means you can go anywhere you want. You're either in that group or affiliated with that group. Mm-hmm. So you can go anywhere you want. Then there's VIP, which is you're close to the artists or people who work for the group, whatever. Yeah. And then you go down the line and then there is, and it's still cool. It's still cool. The meet and greet pass, and the meet and greet, it's more formal. It's usually radio station contest winners will get a meet and greet, which means you get brought into a room, like herded in as a group. Okay, everybody stay right here. Stay right here. No, we'll let you know. Okay, now everybody get in line. Everybody get in line. And then the artist shows up, and then you go down one at a time in the line, and then there's a professional photographer that give you a website. Go to this website, you can download the photo, and then
always much more rigid. Like get in, get out, get out. Not a hanging out like a VIP or a laminate would be. Like, get your picture and move.
Being in the business ourselves, Chris, we kind of know that deal, right?
Yeah, exactly. The drummer for the multi-platinum selling Papa Roach.
Exactly.
Not one that you'd stick in a meet and greet line.
Well, over the years of my career, the course of my career, I've just become accustomed to a certain level of access, a certain level of just like more chill vibes. You know what I mean? So
Chris talks about this all the time.
For me to get thrown in the cattle with the cattle pass, I was like, oh man, oh shit. Like I can just imagine this long line, and then like we get herded into this little pen, and then like, okay, take a picture with Bert. Okay, bye. You know what I mean? So I was like, oh man.
Yeah, there's like an industry courtesy for those those of us that do it. You know, there's an industry courtesy where you get the big pass.
I don't want to seem like an entitled, princess or something.
You can.
You know what I'm saying? I was just, I was a little thrown off by the meet and greet. I was like, shit, Craig. I'm like, Craig, I think this is meet and greet, dude. Mm-hmm. Craig, I think you got me the meet and greet pass. Yeah. So, and I'm talking to the TM while I'm on on the
tour
phone
manager.
with
TM is
Craig,
tour manager. Yep.
See,
tour manager,
industry guy right
and
here.
I'm like, yeah. This, like, I'm Dave from Papa Roach. Like, so, I mean, like, we're here to just say what's up to Bert. Like, I'm not here for a meet and greet.
Yeah.
Like, you know. And then I'm like, Craig, this is a fucking meet and greet, dude. Craig.
Yeah. It was
Craig,
freaking out.
Coming to meet and greet pass.
It was freaking out. And by the way,
that being said, when we finally got back there, and
yes.
it was just
in Boise, you're talking about.
Great in Boise,
yeah.
yes. It was such a great. I mean, there was like pizza for everyone hanging out. Bert comes over. I was actually there to see Big J Okerson, who I've done. He's been on the Shiprocked cruises that I've done many times. I was for a time I was going out every year as part of their all-star cover band called the Stowaways.
Oh yeah,
and so I got to know Big J over that. So when I originally called Craig, I was like, "Yo, you know, Big J's coming through with Bert Kreischer. I just want to go say what's up to him." And like, you know, Craig, as you do, you're like, "Yeah, no problem, dude. We'll hook it up." So I was just kind of there I had never met Bert or I would, you know, but after watching the show, I was like, "Hey man, it'd be cool to say what's up to Bert too." And so I'm back there talking with Big J, and Bert comes through, and let me tell you, man, Bert is the most gracious. Like, dude, not what I was expecting for a meet and greet pass. Like, he comes, works the room, like you guys said. He hangs out. He had a lot to say. He was telling stories to everybody, and so it did not have that typical meet and greet vibe where it's just like, hey, let me just get in, get out, and get the hell out of here kind of a thing.
Well, and this is all important background for what happens to us last week. Last week, Dave calls me and Chris and says, "Hey, man, are you guys in town next weekend? Because I'm going to be driving from Idaho to go see family in Arizona. And I think I want to stop into Vegas for a night." And the night happened to be a night I was home in Vegas. And that's the night you and I are going to hang out and go see Bert Kreischer. And I go, "Yeah, man, actually, Dave, do you want to go see Bert Kreischer?" And he goes, "It's the night that I get in." And I go, "Yeah, I mean, is that too much? I know you're going to be driving it's going to be a long day driving." And he goes, "Yeah, can I bring Bon? Can I bring my son?" And I was like, "Yeah, by the way, how cool is that? A drummer names his son Bonham." So he goes, "Hey, yeah, man, if that's cool." And so I got it set up, and we go to the show to go see Bert Kreischer. And it's the four of us going. And first thing that happens that becomes a storyline later is we're waiting in line to pick up our backstage passes. And I see the singer of Sum 41 in line.
Derek.
And this is kind of foreshadowing how the rest of the night is going to go for me with the singer of Sum 41. Just look into this camera. Can I get the shot on this camera right here? It's just, this is what I did to the guy from Sum 41. That's creepy. He immediately looks down, and I'm like, "Oh, that's the guy from Sum 41, man."
And that's where it started.
Yeah, that's the singer of Sum 41. And I'm like, "Oh shit!" And then a crazy thing happens where the guy from Sum 41 is like 4 or 5 people behind us, but we're told at the box office that my name and my passes were put on a wrong night. It was on Saturday night, so they said, "We need you to just stand to the side and wait while we straighten out your passes." And I'm like, "Oh, all right." So now the singer of Sum 41 is getting closer and closer and closer.
And Craig's getting more excited and more excited and more excited.
My only thing is this. I love Sum 41, but I actually met that dude like 20 years ago. And I think it was the same night I met Buckner at this MTV party. So I'm waiting for the guy to get up to us so I could just be like, "Hey, dude." And he knows I want to talk to him. He can see the look in my face that I want to talk to him.
Absolutely.
So as he gets closer, he just keeps like looking away. Like,
and his girlfriend is super tall, so he definitely put her in front of him.
Yes, yes. And then when he gets up to us, I go, "Hey, Derek, Craig Gass, stand-up comedian." He goes, "Oh, okay." And I go, "Yeah, man, I'm just, you know." And he goes, "Oh, cool.
You don't remember me, man, but 20 years ago.
I didn't even do it. I didn't even do it. I could already feel the energy. And I said, I go, "All right, man." I go, "You're coming in, right?" And he goes, "Yeah." And I go, "All right. Hey, you gonna be backstage?" And he goes, "Probably." I go, "All right, we'll see you backstage." And
that's when he first started thinking about, maybe I'm not going backstage.
So we watched Bert's show.
Yeah, but then right after that, you know, Chris and I pulled up, right? And then,
yes.
Dude, I've known Derek over the years. Like, we played tons of
That's
shows.
right.
Yeah,
that's right.
He was your in.
Dude, like, we like Europe, all over the state, like different festivals, different gigs and stuff. So Derek's a sweetheart, though, dude. I mean, like he wasn't gonna jam you up, Craig.
But I knew.
Leave that to me.
I knew I was already putting out weird energy. So
and thus the name of the show.
Yes. But I had a backup. I got one rock star over here, one rock star over here. So I'm like, hey, Chris, Five Finger Death Punch, like, oh shit. And I go, yeah, Dave Buckner, Papa Roach, like, oh, and Dave and Derek know each other.
Yeah.
So it's like, all right, that kind of smoothed it over a little bit. Then we go inside, we watch the show. Mm-hmm. Bert had a couple of great comedians opening up for him. And one of which is a woman who Chris is very much in love with.
Hey, Catherine. Remember me, Chris Kael from Five Finger Death Punch? We talked a little bit about being from Kentucky, and you told me all those stories about you being toxic, and goddamn, I love
you. Chris, you are smitten, dog.
Yeah.
You are smitten, dude. I could tell on your face that night, dude. You were like, oh, man.
I do not make good choices.
Cool.
The show ends, and we have passes, and we're told, okay, as soon as the show ends, we're going to bring you down to hang out with Bert, is what was said. And I thought, oh, this is going to be cool. I'm going to document this as we're going down.
Uh-huh.
Dave's already freaking out. Can you play clip number 1, Matthew?
Oh, I haven't seen this video.
As we're walking in, Dave's already got bad vibes. He's traumatized.
Yep.
All right, we're backstage at the
look on Dave's face
show right now. Bert just did a big show here in Vegas, and we're told to go into this room. I think it's a meet and greet.
PTSD.
There's a photo up.
We're in a meet and greet.
By the way, it's not a high quality video, but in that last shot, there's a video screen behind me that said, "Welcome to the Bert meet and greet."
Yep.
So we get in there, and second video, video number 2, the singer of Sum 41 shows up and is not anywhere near me.
The meet and greet. The meet and greet. We're doing the meet and greet with my buddy Dave, who's talking to Derek right now.
There's Dave. There's Derek.
Dave is not fine.
I'm not watching the episode so far.
That's right. Dave is. That's right. Dave right there. But we're doing a meet and greet. And Dave doesn't like meet and greets. Dave, it's meet and greet time.
Fucking meet and greet.
Bert got us into the show, and he gave us meet and greet passes, which is not the same as like, hey, these are my friends. It's a meet and greet. And
Dave's had enough. He's like, I'm going back over here.
Like, got a lot of promos.
Yeah. The room is filled with promotional material.
Yeah.
Oh, you're putting the...
We're not in a dressing room.
Chris just added his guitar pick.
Oh, yeah. You started throwing out your guitar picks.
Yeah, okay. We'll see how this turns out.
All right. Now this...
I also love, like, seeing... I didn't see the interaction when we were in the room with Dave and Derek.
Yeah.
So that was the first time I got to see Derek's face when he's talking to Dave.
Which is different than the way he looks when he talks to me. Well, Dave has like a crazy connection to not only to Derek, but Derek's wife. Like he actually has known Derek's
family,
wife.
Essentially, yeah.
So
that's right. On some small world shit. So Derek's wife is the sister of a really good, like this, like amazing, like friend of mine. This girl Maria. Her last name used to be Torres, and now it's a Hunter. But her and Chino's wife, Risa,
from Deftones.
This is way back before anybody was together with anybody. But
Chino from Deftones?
Chino from Deftones, correct.
No, the other one.
Maria and Risa, they used to have this, they used to rent a place on Vista Gardner in LA.
Okay.
And when Papa Roach was unsigned, they would let us crash on their floor when we would come down and play gigs or like showcases or whatever, like way back in the early days, like 98, 99.
Whoa, okay.
And so I go back with Maria for, over 20 some odd years, almost 30 years probably.
Wow.
And so her husband, Cameron, is Derek's wife's brother. So,
Okay.
I had to ask his wife, like, to put, because I'm like, I was telling her, I'm like, hey, you know what? On some Small World shit, like, aren't you like cousins with Maria Torres? She goes, no. And she broke it down for me. And I was like, okay, I got the whole picture. But yeah, dude, definitely some Small World, like, you know, just some around the way.
So
I want to do an act out here real fast. So I'm good. I'm going to be
step of this.
I'm going to be a taller version of Derek from Sum 41.
Yep.
And I'm going to start talking to you first.
This is
Dave,
exactly what happens next.
And then Craig's going to come in. So I'm hanging out and introduce yourself, Dave. You catch me out of the corner of your eye here.
Yeah. Oh, wait, we're talking right now.
Hey, Dave. Yeah. How are you, man?
Hey.
I haven't seen you since we played those shows way back in the day. How you been?
Yeah. What's up, D? How you doing, man?
So good to see you, man. I mean, this is a wonderful evening being able to see you.
This is where I see my opportunity.
Yeah. I know, right?
Yeah,
and
man.
What a great show. Like, Bert did a great set. You know, it was really cool, man.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Derek.
Yeah. I mean,
Craig, I saw you in line at the box office. I'm with these two. So how'd you like the show?
it was good, man.
Oh, cool.
Anyone? Is my wife around? Where's she? Hey, babe.
So you guys live here in Vegas, right?
Get the kids. We should probably.
Dude, this is where Dave goes from having this like wonderful, warm conversation with Derek, and then steps away from him. Now Derek is just standing there with his wife. Yeah. So I think like, hey, I'm a comedian. He's at a comedy show. I feel like I'm pretty likable. So I walk in. I got no connection to Derek, but I'm like, hey, so I'm a stand-up comedian. And he goes, cool. And I go, so you guys live here in Vegas. That's why Derek was there. Yep. Derek lives in Vegas. He's friends with Bert. And the conversation is, and Dave and Chris are a witness to how uncomfortable the conversation was between me and Derek.
Yep.
And it genuinely bummed me out that he had no interest in talking to me. And I would ask him questions like, so who are your favorite comedians? And he goes,
I watch a lot of comedians.
All of them.
All of them, yeah.
All of them.
Yeah.
And I go, like who?
Like, honestly, I don't really like stand-up comedy. So,
and I go, well, hey, I'm a stand-up comedian. I have a residency now here in Vegas at the Jimmy Kimmel's Comedy Club. It's on the Strip. And I'd love to invite you guys to come out. And he goes, yeah. And I go, would it be okay to send something to you? And he goes, and I go, can I? Oh, yeah. It's getting worse.
Oh, damn.
And he goes, yeah. I go, can I, would you prefer email? I'm not going to ask him for his phone number. I'm realizing as I'm saying this, both of you have had these same conversations.
Did he give you his Hotmail account?
You and Dave are thinking the same thing about me.
He's like, hey, man, my account is DerekSum41 at hotmail.com.
So Derek says, all right, just give me your phone. I'll type in my email address. He doesn't even want to say it out loud.
Yeah.
So other people like that might be within listening distance will copy his email address. Yeah. And he goes, all right. And he types in an email address. And I'm like, all right, cool. So I ask him another question. He looks at his wife and goes, I think we're going to get out of here.
Oh, man.
A fun aside, I saw him at the Papa Roach show this past weekend. He was acting like he was acting with Dave the whole time and wasn't weird at all.
Totally different vibe. Dude, Craig's like, hey, Derek, can I get your contact? He's like, sure. Type this at 867 5309. There you go.
So Derek says, yeah, I think we're going to go. And I go, all right, well, hey, it was nice to meet you. He goes, bye.
It was gone.
He's out. As soon as Derek from Sum 41 walks out, another door at the opposite end of the room opens up, and we hear Bert go, hey!
Yep. And we were getting ready to leave then, too. I was like, I don't really want to bother him.
Should we leave?
We're in the meet and greet.
The singer of Sum 41 just walked out. Should we leave, too? And then a door opens up. Bert walks in, and there is a crowd of, is it called Osos? Is that the name of the?
Poor Osos.
Poor Osos.
Yep,
Poor
right
Osos.
there. There you go.
Yeah, so right Poor Osos. So a bunch of Poor Osos executive people are in that room. Mm-hmm. Bert comes right up to them. And I took kind of a half step towards Bert, and I was like, oh, you know what? Just let him. But while he's surrounded by all the Poor Osos people, he goes, dude, let me fucking tell you about Chris Kael. He goes, dude, that guy over there, that guy's the guy from Five Finger Death Punch.
We were all the way on the other side of the room, too. I mean, he was on one side. There's 20 people from Poor Osos, and then us all the way on the other side. And I remember him going, oh my God, Chris, get over here, get over here.
I got to back up a little bit and tell you the story about last year at the Super Bowl in Las Vegas.
Yep.
I brought Chris with me to the Super Bowl Media Center where I ran into Bert. Chris, huge comedy fan, huge fan of Bert and Tom. I said, I'll introduce you. And I go, hey, Bert. I go, this is my friend Chris. He is in a band called Five Finger Death Punch. Chris, this is Bert. And I couldn't believe it. Bert goes, dude, my fucking daughter is like your biggest fan.
Yeah.
My daughter fucking loves you guys. And she fucking listens to you all the time. She went to go see you guys last year in Los Angeles. And she actually saw you open for Metallica. And he has this whole story about, holy shit, my daughter loves you guys and is your biggest fan.
Yep.
And then I said, well, shit, Bert, is it okay if we come to your show? Because they were going to do a show that weekend. Bert and Tom were doing a show at the MGM Grand Arena. He goes, yeah, I'll hook it up.
And so I knew when I met them in Las Vegas the time before, Isla was like kind of the wrangler. She was in the room, kind of hanging out and whatnot. Bert was incredibly
this is
hospitable.
the daughter that loves Five Fingers.
Yes, yes. And incredibly hospitable. Both of them were super nice. And I know that Bert probably gets gifts all the time. Isla very much more quiet. I knew that she was a fan of the band. So I was like, you know what? I want to do something nice for her. So I gave, I got a BC Rich Mockingbird guitar. And then
unbelievable.
I knew that they had been to the Los Angeles show when we played the Forum with Metallica. I still had the vest.
It wasn't the Forum, dude. You played that stadium.
What's
it was bigger than the Forum.
Oh.
It was the,
tell me how big it was.
It was the big dog room.
It was the football stadium.
Yeah.
The Forum holds 20,000. You were at the stadium, SoFi Stadium.
SoFi is what it was. Yes. So yes,
God,
my apologies. I forget how big Metallica is.
I'll be at Jimmy Kimmel's Cap 350.
Yeah.
This summer.
Comp tickets.
Fall.
Let's go. Paper the room, baby. Paper the room. Sell these drinks. No, so I had the same vest that I wore on stage at SoFi when we played in Los Angeles. I gave her the vest from the show. And when I gave him the guitar, I thought he was going to cry. Like he was very emotional.
We have it on video.
Yeah.
We have it on video.
Yeah.
I was on my Instagram stuff and we ended up FaceTiming with Isla backstage at Bert's show. Bert put on the vest and Bert actually looked great in that vest. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah. Trying to come get my job.
Yep.
I'm coming after yours too, Bert. So be ready.
So here we are now, a year later, almost a full year later, and we're in the meet and greet, and it's Buckner and his son Bond, who is going to play a key part in this whole evening, and Chris and Bert. And Bert freaks out when he sees you, and he's got an update now.
Yep.
And the update, he just starts telling the story. I mean, at some point I said, Bert, can I film part of this? And I started filming. I was halfway through, but that's video number 3, Matthew, if we can pull that up. It's when it's Bert just describing how much Chris has changed Isla's life.
One of the most stable human being you've ever met. Chris gives her a guitar. Isla, out of tune, not tune, figures out the Deftones song, brings me upstairs, plays it, I go, baby, that's not a tune. That's the song. She goes, David, what's the difference? I go, let me tune it for you. Tune it, she goes, oh, it's so much easier this way. Create new chords. You got her in the guitar. That's cool. You got her in the guitar.
You got her into guitar. So now he's telling us, because of you, my daughter loves playing guitar. And so that's insane. Then a bunch of different social groups start breaking off. This crazy thing happens with Catherine that
Catherine and Chris got engaged that night.
Yeah, Catherine and Chris got engaged that night. And then Chris tells Catherine.
You could change my life, Catherine.
Chris tells Catherine, I came to the show with Craig Gass. Catherine freaks out and goes, Craig Gass, the comedian?
Yeah. So we were talking, and I was like, yeah, me and my buddy Craig Gass, we just started this new podcast. And yeah, he's over there. She goes, wait, Craig Gass? Craig Gass, he's here right now. I go, yeah, he's right over there. She freaked out. I was like, oh my God, I got to take you over there because he needs to see this. I love it when people get genuinely as excited as I always am when I see you.
Yeah, so that was like a crazy thing. Turns out Catherine, who's hilarious.
Oh yeah.
And I gave her
on the eyes.
I gave her first ever professional comedy gig. I asked her to host for me at the Punchline in Atlanta only 6 years ago, like 6-7 years ago. And now she's touring around the country with Bert. She's also touring with David Spade. She's crushing it right now. So I'm talking to Pete Lee, one of the other comics. You're talking to Catherine. I start talking to Catherine. I see something going on in the corner of the room. And every time I look over, I notice and I go, oh, wow, that's cool. Bert is talking to Dave and Bon.
Yep.
And then at some point, I'm like, oh, wow, Bert's really talking to Bon. How old is Bon?
Bon's 15.
Bon's 15.
Yep.
Keep this in mind. Bon is 15 years old, and Bert is talking to Bon. I end up talking to Catherine for a while. Then I start talking to Pete again. We all start talking about shows, and then you come over, and then all these different, every time I look over, Bert is talking to a 15-year-old.
Having a heart-to-heart.
And it's intense, and I'm like, oh, wow, that's kind of crazy. And I know that Bon loves stand-up comedy, and I'm like, that is really cool that Bert is talking to him about stand-up comedy. The night ends, and Bert makes an announcement about, hey, the night is young. Who wants to party? We don't drink. We don't do drugs. So we're like, all right, Bert, see you later, man. We bail. And I'm like, wow, what the hell was that about, man? That's kind of cool that Bon and Bert kind of bonded like that. And Dave goes, that was an intervention. And I go, what? Like, that was a speech. Dave, what were we missing out on? You were a witness. You had a front row seat to what kind of conversation with Bert Kreischer and your 15-year-old son?
Well, I'll tell you that, man, you know what? I could tell the story, but who better to tell the tale than the man himself?
Yes.
My son, Bonham R. Buckner, right here.
Bonham,
15-year-old superstar. What did Bert Kreischer want to tell you? It sounded so important to him to impart some wisdom. What was the wisdom he told you that he shared?
So I don't remember exactly how he started, but I just remember this tall, shirtless man in front of me, and he's drunk. He's holding his drink, right? He's holding his drink in his right hand, and he just walks up to me and he's like, "Hey, kid, listen." And he puts his hand on my shoulder like that, like this is the angle, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, "If there's any universe where I can go back and not have to rely on this," and he points to the drink in his hand. "If there's any universe where I don't have to rely on this, I would go and I would take that in a second. Like, never have to rely on alcohol to enjoy your life." And he just started going into so much detail. He was like, "Yeah, I started drinking when I was a teenager. I started experimenting with drugs. I didn't really, I liked it at the time." And then, I couldn't tell you everything he said. He went into so much detail. It was like a 10-minute talk.
It was a long conversation.
But did he ever go, did I ever tell you about the time that I robbed a train with Russian mafia?
Oh, I think he did. At least once.
Dude, it's one of the sweetest things I've ever heard of, but because it came from Bert, it's one of the most absurd things I've ever heard of in my life. The biggest alcoholic on planet Earth.
Who owns a vodka company?
Exactly. If I never had to get with this alcohol, I would do it.
He meets
Meanwhile, have a sticker.
Yeah. Yeah, and he's handing out promotional stuff. And by the way, I just want to rephrase, when he got done talking to Bon, he stood up and said, you don't want to drink, don't be like me. If I could take it all back, I would never have a drink again. And then they go, all right, hey Bert, it's time to go. And then, like I said, he stood up and went, all right, the night's still young. Who wants to party?
Shots.
Yeah. Fucking after giving an inspirational speech, like, kid, you don't want to do this. All right, who's got the cocaine? I'm out. Let's do this.
I wish I could never do it, but since I am, we're going to have a damn good time.
Dude, he's like, you don't want to do it for yourself, but I'm going to do it for myself because it's the best thing in the world.
Yeah. And might I just extend some gratitude to Bert and his crew for swagging us out. I mean, they hooked us up with hats, T-shirts, stickers.
Chris Kael guitar picks.
I was talking to his brand manager, Brent, I think, and he's like, "What do you think about the stuff?" And I was like, "Dude, I don't even drink, right? I'm a recovering alcoholic, but I'm gonna rock this shit anyway. This shit's hard, dog. Look at that.
The jackets they have. I love those jackets.
Right? You know what I'm saying?
Very cool branding.
Like, we're trying to figure out. We consider Porosos more of a lifestyle brand as opposed to just a vodka thing. So we're trying to figure out how to like tap into like the people who don't drink. And I'm like, dude, I'll go around. I'm going to show up on Craig Gass and Chris podcast and rock your stuff, man. So you know what? Poor Osos, man. That's dope.
I love it. Now, what's the shirt that Bond's wearing there? Is that one of yours?
Bucknerham. I got one of those.
He designed the shirt himself. It's the logo for, hold on, what was the camera going here? There you go. It's the logo for our house. It says Bucknerham Palace.
There we go.
They do have a palace.
Is that
and our house motto, if you can see it in the shirt, our house motto is fuck off. Anyway, the shirt says Bucknerham Palace established 2020. It's, ever since we moved here, we wanted to name the property as many people do. And I had the guys from POD were up at the crib hanging, and Sonny, when he got out of their tour van, and showed up at the front door, he goes, I'm like, hey guys, welcome to the house. And he's like, house? He's like, dang, dude, this is Bucknerham Palace. And I'm like, there's the name right there.
Are those available somewhere online?
I designed a logo, and
where can we get them?
If you're lucky enough to stay at our house, you get a free T-shirt. You know what I'm saying?
And I do. So, I have one.
But you can also purchase Bucknerham Palace T-shirts on my Teespring store, and their link is in my. You can get the link on my Instagram. The link is too long to know, but the link's on my Instagram. It's my Teespring store, Rock Buddha Industries.
I'm going to test Matt's editing skills right now.
Dave Buckner 333 at Dave Buckner 333. There we go. What are we doing?
Could you see what I was doing right there?
He knows what's going to happen in post. Before this airs, that Matthew's going to work on making sure that the website appears underneath Chris. Boom.
Bam. At Dave Buckner 333, everybody.
And Bonham, I want to ask one last question to Bonham. What's the takeaway from Bert Kreischer? The lesson learned from Bert Kreischer?
I guess just don't be like him.
That's what he told me.
The exact opposite of
Bert
everything
Kreischer.
I saw him doing and talking about on stage.
Yeah.
I'm no offense. But he's basically that whole talk was him telling me to do everything that he is not doing.
Yeah.
Very nice. Well,
but you had a great time with the show. But I think Bonham was, were you sitting right next to me? Or no, you were on the other side of Dave. So but you were laughing your ass off during the show.
Yeah.
It was a great show.
It was a great show. All new material.
Yeah.
Bert killed it. It was amazing. And God, that was so much fun, man.
And Dave, Bond, great seeing both of you guys. If I don't see you before Catherine and I get married, then you can come see me and Catherine Blanford at, I was trying to think, at Whitehall back in Kentucky. I've already got it planned. It's a beautiful, beautiful hall.
You will both be in jail multiple times before there's ever any kind of a wedding. I'm going to be doing shows the night before the Boardwalk Festival with Def Leppard and Alice in Chains and Nickelback and the Struts and Everclear and all those bands. The night before, on that Friday night in Ocean Beach, Maryland, big comedy show on the beach at a resort on the beach. Tickets are at getgas.com. Getgas with 2 S's.com. There's dates in Vegas. Chris Kael and I are going to be doing dates together. And find all the info at getgas.com.
We're going on dates, are we?
We're going on dates, man. We're
Catherine,
going on dates.
Never mind what I just said. This my man.
Go to
have fun, boys.
And Chris, where do people find you?
You can find me on the gram, 5FDP Chris Kael, Facebook, chriskael.com. I actually had a wonderful VIP experience this past week with a young guy named Hunter who was playing Death Punch songs on the strip on his guitar. And I saw that he was there and jetted down to go listen to him play some songs. And then me, his dad, and Hunter all went to the Bootlegger Bistro. Oh, nice. Got some pictures at the Vegas sign. We cut the line because that's what I fucking do.
Nice. Nice.
We did it real well. I kind of went over on the side and positioned them where I could get the photo in front of the people that were actually had waited in line. So it's a beautiful picture. But yeah, you can get any of the VIP Chris Kael Vegas experiences on chriskael.com. If I'm in town, I'm happy to hang out with you. So look it up there. That was awesome.
And on a personal note to Bert, I've known you for almost 30 years. You're still the same guy. And I love you for it. And thank you for being so hospitable to all of us at the show. P.S. I sent an email to Derek from Sum 41. 2 weeks later, he responded, "Oh shit, dude, you're hilarious."
No way.
"Oh man, I gotta come see you." The whole vibe changed. I sent him a comedy clip, and he said, "Man, I didn't even look at this for 2 weeks, and I know why you didn't look at it for 2 weeks, because I creeped you the fuck out when we were standing in line at the box office, and again backstage at the show at the meet and greet." So
anyway, I think it's probably time to go ahead and get on out of here.
Well, it sounds like it all worked out for you, Craig. That's awesome.
It all worked.
I just want to add that as much as I disdain meet and greets, nobody does a meet and greet like Bert fucking Kreischer.
Exactly.
He is the master of meet and greets. I will go to a Bert Kreischer meet and greet any day.
Yeah.
Any day.
I love seeing the level of gratitude and how much he loves doing what he does.
Oh, yeah.
And how that gratitude just extends to making everyone around him feel comfortable, much like yourself.
Yeah.
You're always looking out for other people. And I got that vibe from Bert's the couple times I've been able to hang out with the man. And thank you very much, Bert. From me to you. Hats off, sir. Hats off.
Bert is just a good dude. And I appreciate him. He's just super famous now.
He'll be taking that swag off.
It's kind of crazy, but he's just super famous now. So, so we'll be back next week. More stories, more fun. Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Bon.
Yeah.
And Bon. Oh
Thanks
my
for having
God.
us, guys.
That was a legendary night. I cannot believe that I actually was that night ended up being an intervention for Bon from Bert Kreischer. Don't drink alcohol. That is the craziest thing ever.
We're going to finish off here with Catherine. Call me.
Everyone's Googling your name.
I need my life ruined.
All right, guys. Thank you.